Okay, it's like 3 months later and I'm finally continuing this Q&A from like the new year. Yeah, sorry about that. I really screwed myself in January when I started trying to do a vlog every day, and I'm still trying to catch up. So yeah, that was dumb. And right now I happen to be in a position where I can't really do Let's Plays. So I figure, why don't I, continue, because I've been meaning to continue this Q&A vlog. I've been in this space where I just never seem to think about it at the right time. And since I'm unable to continue the Let's Play I wanted to do right now, why don't I just put this up on Tuesdays? So yeah. Also, I was thinking I might maybe I'm gonna try it and see how it goes, but I'm thinking I might start streaming on Sundays. And I'm recording this on a Sunday, and I got that idea, and I'm like, maybe I'll do that today. And then I'm like, I never did finish that stupid Q&A. How about I finish the Q&A first, and then I'll try streaming. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say as far as an intro. So let's just get into this. What or who was your inspiration to start making videos? I guess my husband, because trying to think if there was anyone's videos I'd been watching before I started making my own. Really, the only videos I think I watched were AVGN before I started, and he didn't really inspire me that much because my style is different from his, so I don't really take much from that. But I think it's just from helping my husband make his videos and seeing that he was doing a good job with it, and I thought, well, this is a platform where I can talk about games and stuff that I like. So, yeah, I really think I just kind of got the idea from my husband, and I just kind of ran with it. Happy New Year, Dena. Happy Easter. Here are my questions. Oh. Was there ever something you'd call a defining moment for your YouTube or review career? Are you familiar with Cry of Fear? And if you are, what's your opinion on it? Same question for The Evil Within. Have you played it? And if you did, what's your opinion on that as well? Finally, are you going to review the direct-to-video Hellraiser sequels at some point? Well, that one's a little outdated. All the best for 2017. A defining moment? Defining moment. I guess maybe it was, maybe it's when I covered Silent Hill 2, because that sort of clinched the idea of me focusing on Silent Hill games, which I ended up doing a lot. So I guess that would be one. Am I familiar with Cry of Fear? I know that's an indie game. Was that the one with the paintings? I think I saw Markiplier do a Let's Play of that before it was completely finished, and I think it had a lot. I hope I'm talking about the right game. You know what? Let me double check my facts. I don't want to talk about the wrong game like an idiot. Oh, that's not the one I thought it was. I want to say I've seen Markiplier play that one, but I'm not sure which one it is. So yeah, I guess I don't really have an opinion on Cry of Fear. Sorry. What was that other one? Evil Within. Evil Within. Didn't that come out for PS4? I think that was a game I would have liked to play, but I don't have the system for it. And I think you already know that I'm covering the straight-to-video Hellraiser sequels. Hey Dena, you once said you yourself enjoy the Resident Evil movies. Would you ever consider covering the films on the Film Den or the games on the Game Den? I've already answered these questions. I don't plan on covering the Hellraiser? What the fuck? I don't plan on covering the Resident Evil games on the Game Den because I'm not a big enough fan of Resident Evil that I feel like I would have anything unique to say about it. As far as the movies, I think I covered this in my last one. So I think someone else asked a similar question. I don't plan on covering them on the Film Den, but if I ever do a video on like guilty pleasures or movies I love that everyone else hates, I might, I would probably include it among those. Oh, I'm a diehard fan of both the games and the movies. Wow, that's really rare. People actually hearing it from anyone on the internet who loves the movies is rare. So yeah, that's interesting. What's it like having a diverse channel? For the most part, as far as like the process of making the videos, I like it because I get to jump around and do different things, and that's kind of nice. I tend to get I'm the sort of person who, if I do the same type of thing too often, like if I did nothing but talk about horror movies, I would get kind of burned out, because I just have, you know, I just like to jump around. Even when it comes to watching certain types of movies, sometimes I'm in the mood for My Little Pony, sometimes I'm in the mood for a Hellraiser movie. So I'm weird like that. But yeah, for the purpose of like making the videos, it's nice. Other than that, it's I didn't really, I kind of talked about this when I did my 10-year anniversary video. It was kind of weird having when Doug Walker was talking about my videos, and he said, I still considered myself someone who mostly did horror movies and horror games, and he's like, Dena talks about everything, and I'm like, I didn't realize that people saw my channel that way until then. So yeah, I mean, it's not really good or bad in that respect. It's just, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Of course I'm going to ask this one, but what are your thoughts on Resident Evil 7? While I'm thinking of it, what are your thoughts on the future of VR games as we now have PSVR and VR devices coming down the line? For Resident Evil 7, it's actually good that I didn't answer this question when it was first asked, because I think only the demo was out then, and the demo for Resident Evil 7 didn't really impress me. Like it was scary enough, and the graphics were really great, but it didn't feel at all like a Resident Evil movie to me. And, you know, change is good, but when the demo for Resident Evil 7 came out, there was nothing Resident Evil-like in it. You know, there were, where are the STARS members? Where's Umbrella? There was like none of that in the demo. It just, in fact, it's like, and you know, the games, at least, you know, during the time when I played them, I don't know if they moved away from this with the later ones, but, you know, it's like you're, in Resident Evil games, you play as like an army type guy, shooting zombies with a friggin' flamethrower or whatever. And it's like, when did Resident Evil become like a first person exploring type game? It didn't feel like a Resident Evil game to me at all. But I did watch Markiplier's Let's Play of it, and it does get more into, basically the demo was basically kind of the first hour or so of the game. And after that point, it actually does start to feel more like Resident Evil. Like, you have the safe rooms with the trunks, and, you know, you put your stuff in one trunk and it's magically in every trunk everywhere else. So there was that, and you know, to say too much would be a spoiler. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but yeah, I unfortunately haven't played the game myself because it's really pricey. I mean, it might be worth it. It's probably worth it. It looks like a really good game, and it's really big and everything, and I guess it makes sense that it'd be full price, but yeah, it's just a little more than I would want to pay for a... It's a little more than I'm comfortable paying for a game right now, with my financial situation being the way it is. So I've not actually played the game myself, but seeing someone else play it, like, story-wise, I thought it was great, actually. I thought it turned out a lot better than the demo led you to believe, I thought. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Resident Evil 7. Hopefully someday I'll get to play it myself. I do want to, I just, you know, it's kind of out of my price range, is all. What are my thoughts on the future of VR games? Well, that's another thing I haven't been able to experience myself, but, so I don't have too much to say about VR games, but they do seem to be, like, on the rise. I think something is gonna... I think if handled well, I think that could really go somewhere. And I hope it does. It'll be interesting to see what happens with VR. Oh, I hate these trapped on a desert island questions. If you are trapped on a desert island for a whole year and were only allowed to bring one type of food to eat every day, one type of drink, one movie, one article of clothing, one song, and one TV episode, oh my god, what would they be? I think these questions are really meant to be like, what are your favorites of all of those? Because I can't think of a type of food I would want to eat every day. Or an episode of a TV show I would want to watch, you know, normally or all the time without being able to watch any other episodes. But, type of food to eat every day. Some kind of meat, that's for sure. I'm definitely a meat eater. Of course, they say you're only allowed to bring one type of food. They don't say whether there's any animals on the desert island that you could hunt. So, I'll still go with meat just in case. Some type of meat. I guess ground beef, because ground beef you can do a lot with it. Like you can make burgers, or you can do stir fry, or I'm not very creative in that area. One type of drink. Probably, well, I don't know, would I want to get drunk on the desert island? Probably not, because if I drank alcohol, I would get dehydrated, and that wouldn't be too good for me. Of course, if you're on an island, you probably have a water source. Geez, I'm gonna be boring and say water, because, I don't know, am I surrounded by fresh water or salt water? If I'm surrounded by salt water, I might have a hard time getting water that I can drink, so, I might need water. One movie. What movie do I watch a lot? I actually try to make it a point, like when I get a movie, when I like a movie, I actually try not to watch it too often so I don't get burned out on it. Oh hell, I guess Jurassic Park. I have a hard time imagining getting tired of Jurassic Park. I'm getting there. One movie, one article of clothing. I assume I have more than that to, like, do I only have one article of clothing to wear? That would be a little weird. I guess the idea is, what sort of article of clothing do you own that you're really attached to and would have to have with you? I almost want to say my My Little Pony hoodie, because I wear this thing all the time, but I don't know if I would need this on a desert island. Fuck it, I'm going to say this anyway. I'm spending too much time on this question. TV episode. Sorry, I live in an apartment. Whenever my neighbors turn on their faucet, I can hear it in the walls. I would like to wait for them to stop, but I don't know if it's gonna stop anytime soon, so I'm just gonna power through it, so sorry. TV episode. What's my favorite episode? I keep wanting to say Gunmen of the Apocalypse of Red Dwarf. Or the Gunmen of the Apocalypse episode of Red Dwarf. It's hard to imagine getting tired of that. I'm sure I would if I was stuck on a desert island and that's all I had to watch. Anyway, okay, moving on, because I spent too much time on that question. First of all, Happy New Year, looking great. Thank you on both accounts. For my question, do you know of Rule of Rose on the PS2? It should be right up your alley with all this Silent Hill and Lord of the Flies themes and inspirations. If not, consider a suggestion to help grow its cult following. Greetings from Germany. Don't hate me, but I've played Rule of Rose and I didn't like it much. Granted, I didn't play very far. I got up to the point where you get your little dog friend, and then, oh, finally, they turned off their faucets. Shit. Where you meet your little... I got up to the point where you meet your little dog friend, and I think by then I was kind of tired of it, so it's very possible that the game gets a lot better after that, but I just, I'm sorry. I know I know Rule of Rose has its fans, but I just didn't really care for it. I think it was like they were trying to make these children creepy, and I just didn't find them creepy. I just wanted to kind of smack them. I'm like, who is this fucking weak-ass main character, and why is she letting little children pick on her? I just like, and the main character's animations, like she had this weird little prissy run she did, like, oh, I gotta run, can't run too fast, I'm wearing a skirt. I don't know, I just, don't hate me, I do plan to give it a try again someday, because maybe it gets better for all I know. I am open to the idea that maybe it gets better, but I did try playing Rule of Rose, and I didn't care for it. And again, it was years ago. It was like when it first came out, we rented it, and yeah, I do still have a copy of it, and maybe someday I'll try to play it again. I keep meaning to give it another chance, but I know it's hard finding the drive to do that, because that game didn't have the best, leave me with the best first impression. Long-time listener, first-time commenter. Have a great 2017. Thank you, you too. My question is, why do you make Lee watch My Little Pony? Well, first of all, that's hilarious that you think I make him watch it, because he was the one who got me into the show in the first place. So I make him watch it because he likes it too. Are there any events, film, game, or otherwise, in 2017 you are looking forward to? Yeah, I was looking forward to Resident Evil 7, but I've seen it now, so what else am I looking for? Well, My Little Pony, the movie, comes out in October, and I'm actually, I wasn't really following that before, and I'm still trying to avoid spoilers and stuff, but I did find out a little more about it recently, and I'm actually kind of psyched, so yeah, the My Little Pony movie, what is even coming out this year? Shit. Does Guardians of the Galaxy must be 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 must be coming out this year, so I'm looking forward to that. There's probably other Marvel movies too. I'm really bad about following these things, but I know there's got to be more Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out, and I'm looking forward to those. So yeah, I think that was about it. How is it that you got into the various things you review? Well, that's kind of a loaded question because I cover so many different things. How are you introduced to them, and how did you grow to love them? What are some things you like that you probably won't review? Now, that's an interesting question. I was actually thinking of maybe doing a video about that, but I don't know if I'll get around to it. God, how do I get in? Well, a lot of the things I cover, I intentionally cover things that I've been into for a really long time, because for me, that's a lot easier. Those types of things are easier to cover. Things I've liked since I was a kid, like 80s slasher movies and 80s horror movies in general. These are all stuff that I liked when, technically, I was in high school when I first got into horror movies. But anyway, yeah. And, you know, the video games I cover are video games I've loved since I was a kid. So, how did I get into those things? Basically, I was probably a lot more open-minded back then, and I would just watch or play anything. I'm a lot more picky now, unfortunately. I should probably be a little more open-minded and try more types of games and try to watch more movies, but yeah. Yeah, what got me into those things is probably just that I was more open-minded and more open to watching new games and watching new movies and playing new games, and yeah, I don't know if that really answers that very well, but what was the other thing? Some things you like you probably won't review, yeah. Probably some of the older movies I like and some of the movies that are chick flicks. I don't really see myself making videos of those, but I like them so much that it's kind of tempting. So, I love Gone with the Wind. I've seen that movie like 100 times. As far as like, one of my favorite movies is The Joy Luck Club, which is kind of a chick flick. By the way, I don't think of chick flick as something negative. I think of chick flicks as movies that are aimed at women. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a movie being labeled a chick flick. Just for the record. So yeah, there are some movies I like, some older movies. I'm not really an older movie buff, but I also really like The Music Man. I like, The King and I, and, you know, these are just movies that I don't really go with the other things I talk about, so I don't know if I would ever make videos about them, but yeah, those are some things I like that I don't really plan to make videos out of. I guess if you want to hear me talk about that stuff, let me know, and maybe I'll think about it. So, just like, look at what my cat's doing. Let me see if I can, oh, he moved. He was standing on his hind legs and trying to get in my closet. I don't know what the hell he thought he was doing. I gotta try to fix this. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more question. I'm actually kind of going over time a little bit here, but I'm gonna do one more question and then I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. I have a few questions. Have you seen John Carpenter's film Dark Star? And if you have, what do you think about it? I have not seen that, sorry. The most cliched question you can ask an internet reviewer is, what is their favorite video? I think it's much more interesting to find out what their least favorite work is. So I guess my question is, what is your least favorite video of the ones you've made yourself? My least favorite video, wow. Let me think. He's doing it again. Let me see. Oh, damn it, he got down again. Soul was like on his hind legs. You saw him on the ironing board. He's up on his hind legs and just like trying to get into my closet somehow. I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, sorry. So what is my least favorite video? That might possibly be Nightmare on Elm Street. It had its moments, and anytime I mention I don't like this video, people are like, "Oh no, it's okay. You did a good job. Don't be so hard on yourself." And I'm not being hard on myself. I'm just being honest. The video could have been better than it was. I think it had a good intro, and it had, you know, moments throughout it that were good. Everybody likes that Home Alone gag I did, and I enjoyed making that, and I like how it turned out. But yeah, basically the problem with that video is that Nightmare on Elm Street, the first movie, I haven't really seen the first movie as much as I've seen the later movies, so there's less for me to talk about already, and plus, this was my first attempt, God, I think that was only my second film den, and this was my first attempt at trying to put out a video quickly. I wanted to put out that video in time for when the remake came out, and I ended up having to rush it a little bit, and there were just parts of that video I just think could have been better. I'm not as actually prefer some of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels as far as what I like. So talking about the first one, it's like I automatically had less to say about it than I would have about the sequels. So yeah, basically that, and I feel like that's kind of a low note to end on. Oh well, I've been recording for like 28 minutes, so I have to wrap this up. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep doing these Q&A vlogs. I'm going to try to actually finish these. I'm only maybe a third of the way through the questions that were asked, just going by how the little bar thing looks. It's positioned on the screen. It looks like maybe I'm a third of the way through the questions, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to try to be more diligent. I'm going to try to record these on Sundays and post them on Tuesdays. And I'm gonna try to be diligent about that. I know I said that like 2 months ago, but I do want to eventually make Sunday the day that I do, if streams work out. I want to make Sunday the day that I do streams. I don't know if I would do them every week, but I have to experiment first and figure out if it's even going to work out. But I want to get all these Q&As out of the way first before I do that. So that's my inspiration for getting this done. I can do the other thing I want to do. So yeah, that's it for now. See you next time. Hopefully I will continue this next week.